PTA, and our focus is all about middle school happenings. I am very fortunate to have a fantastic group of volunteers who lead the councils that enhance the middle school experience for our children. Many of these volunteers have returned to reprise a role that they took on in the past or to step up into something new, and some are just starting out on their PTA journey. We are so grateful for their time, their energy, and their commitment to Bronxville School. So I'd love to introduce the council. If you're on, just give a wave. Wendy Fahey is our vice chair. Joyce Barnes is our secretary. And Lindy Devereaux is our treasurer. Now we have a great group of 8th grade chairs. Michelle Antonini, Amy Brown, and Alana Level. Are any of our 8th grade chairs on? I'd love to get an update on what's happening with 8th grade. Anyone? Okay. How about 7th grade? We have Rosie Amodio, Lisa Ryan, Jennifer Heathwood, and Nicole Vellucci. Can we get an update on the 7th grade happenings?
Sure. Hi.
Hi. Oh, there she goes.
I'm Jen Heathwood. So I wanted to introduce the other not co-hosts, 7th grade chairs with me. Lisa is mom to Caroline Ryan. It's Lisa McGovern. Nicole Vellucci is mom to Logan Siegel. There she is waving. Rosie Amodio is mom to Coco Rosenberg. And I kept it simple, and my last name is the same as my child's last name. So I'm the only one who, I'm Jennifer Heathwood. My daughter is Lulu Heathwood. We're really excited about being 7th grade chairs this year. And this morning in our executive council, we were saying that we are the middle grade of the middle school. And so our goal this year is to work on trying to make our kids that are in the middle of the middle feel really special. And we hope that we can be a good liaison for all of the 7th grade parents and families on this call and in the grade. So we look at our role as being a good intermediary between parents and kids and the administration. I mean, obviously you can reach out directly, but if we can help in any way or answer any questions, we're here for that. And we're here to really support the school in all that they're doing for 7th grade. And if you guys have any ideas, thoughts, concerns, anything you think you want to bounce off us, we're all 4 of us would love to hear from you. A couple things that we have going on. We're really excited that the 7th grade is going to be going to Williamsburg, and I'm sure the school will tell us more details about it, but I have 2 kids that have gone to Williamsburg, and it's a really special trip. It goes with the curriculum that they're studying. They go down to Colonial Williamsburg. It's a long trip, that it's Tuesday through Friday, and it's a lot of time on the bus, but it's such a special time for the kids to have this great experience as a grade together, and a lot of teachers volunteer and go down. And I know our new principal is going to be going. He let me know. So it's really a special trip. So that's exciting. There's a teen center group. So we'll have 3 teen centers this year. And this is the first year that they have finals at the end of the year. So we'll be prepared for that. And that's kind of a big overview of 7th grade. And then as we come along, we'll get down to more nitty-gritty stuff. So we're excited. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. I see Michelle Antonini is on. Michelle, can you give us an update on the 8th grade and what's happening?
Apologies for my technical issue. Yeah, we're really excited for 8th grade this year. We had a great meeting this morning, and I think we all agreed our central kind of feeling was that our eighth graders really had kind of a, they were the class that COVID struck in their fifth grade year. So they did not have a normal transition into middle school. Some of the landmark kind of experiences through sixth and seventh grade they weren't able to have, including their trips. So they are in their eighth grade year, and we really want to make this an incredible year for them, so it is their last in middle school. That being said, I think our goal is to try to return to a completely normal eighth grade schedule as far as our yearly events go. Our two big events are obviously our Snowflake Ball, which is going to be in December. And that was held last year as the Spring Fling, but we're going to try and move it back to its original kind of December spot at the Field Club. And then we'll also be planning our graduation a little bit later on in the end of the year. But before all of that, we're hoping to get in one good teen center with great participation. And that is right around the corner, hopefully at the beginning of October. So we're working with the teen center team on that. And then we'll be working closely with Mr. Makora to make sure that we have a really incredible eighth grade trip for them this year. That's very important to the parents and the students, I think. So we really welcome any other eighth grade parents. If you have ideas or activities or things that you think would make this year extra special for your eighth grader, please feel free to reach out to us, and we'll do our best to incorporate anything we can into making this year amazing as their last year at middle school.
Great, thank you so much. Okay, so for our sixth grade, we have Zahavia Branch and Denise Mulvihill. I think Denise, you're around to give us the update on sixth grade? I see Zahavia.
Yeah, I'm here. So we have our first event coming up, the pumpkin decorating contest, which is in October. And we're really excited about that. And so happy to have our sixth graders in school under Mr. Makora. And that's about it. You'll hear from us soon.
Thank you, Denise. Okay, and you've heard about our teen center. This year, our teen center is led by Laura Busker, Melissa Kelly, Gina Lodi, and Dea Warren. And you are going to get information about us, more details in an email coming soon. So I won't have them go into the details just yet because they're still working out on that stuff. Our art council is represented by Jenny Jaquette. Be Well is repped by Annabella Davis. Michelle Spillane is in charge of Bowl for Us this year. And Basque is being headed up by Carolyn Matson. Carolyn, are you on? Do you want to give us a quick heads up on some Basque stuff?
I am. Yes, I just really wanted to reach out to the new families that we have quite a few new families in the middle school who don't know about Basque. It's the Bronxville after school clubs. And if anyone was, didn't know about them or would like to know more, you can go to the bronxvilleafterschool.org. And if there's any interest in the classes, reach out to the email that's on the website. Some of the classes are still open for registration. So yeah, I just wanted to let them know about that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And now we also have one of the great things in middle school is the Character and Community Committee. That is headed up by Amy Brown, Carolyn Matson again, and Denise Mulvihill. Denise, I think you wanted to talk about an event for Character and Community that's coming up.
Yes. So Character and Community, just really quickly, we create and find community service events for middle school students. It's been going on for many years, and we've had ups and downs with COVID, but we're really hoping to have really a full offering again, cooking for the soup kitchen, visiting the elderly, working with children, and community gardening, which is something we did a lot of during COVID. And our first event is Saturday, October 1st, in the Alfredo Field, which is also known as the Bronxville Dog Park. We will be weeding and planting with larger community groups. The Boy Scouts are going to be there, and neighbors. All the garden beds in this park are entirely funded and maintained by neighbors. And we're looking for help this year. So anyone who's interested in spending a little bit of time volunteering with your children, please sign up. Amy just sent out in the chat a sign up genius just to get more information about character and community. We'd love to have you spend maybe 2 hours a semester, helping us out. And we do Saturday events and after school events. And for the sign up for the gardening, that will be in Mr. Macora's Friday bulletin. And all of our future signups will also be in that Friday bulletin. So I hope to see many of you gardening before we party together at the social Saturday night.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Denise. And thank you for the setup for the PTA plea. So your time and your membership in the PTA really, really do matter. And if you haven't, you please join or renew your membership through the membership toolkit. And while you're there, you can sign up for text messages and opt in so you can stay connected to us. Some of you may have gotten an SMS tonight to join the meeting. It's a nice, fun feature that we've got. The purpose of these council meetings is to keep you informed and to continue to bring you important content. If you haven't gotten a chance yet, can you please complete the survey that I sent out on September 15th? And we can use that to help plan our upcoming meetings. The middle school social is our biggest PTA fundraiser, and our host families are so generous to support the event this year. So thank you to the Smith, Herman, O'Mara, and Williams families for responding to our summer request to host. And we will pray for good weather for October 1st night. And now I'd like to introduce Dr. Kelly. Dr. Rachel Kelly is our interim superintendent, and she's joined us tonight to give us the scoop on the district. So Dr. Kelly, it's all you.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everybody. Nice to see you. Roy, who is still our superintendent until December 31st, is not feeling well. So he did ask me to send his best regards and to give you some updates. Deirdre, you just mentioned a big one, and that I will be the interim superintendent come January 1st. And we've had a lot of other exciting leadership changes that I want to just share with you. One, of course, you all know, Joe Macora, the new middle school principal, and we're so pleased we were able to put his middle level education to work again after working in elementary. And with that, we have Rakia Adams as our new elementary school principal and Anthony Vaglica as her assistant principal. And what a partnership they have already made for our elementary school. In addition, you may have seen in what is now called the Bronco Beat, which will be the district newsletter. I think we may have borrowed that name from the PTA, if I'm not mistaken, many years ago. That will be our new Friday district newsletter. And in there, you may have seen that Christine Dowd, one of our master special educator, has been promoted to assistant director of special education. So if you happen to see any of those new district leaders, please welcome them and congratulate them. We're also very pleased that our back to school nights are in person. We already had our high school one and got great reviews, and we look forward to both the middle school and elementary school to be in person as well. You also may have read that our elementary school has been named a Blue Ribbon School. That is through the U.S. Department of Education, very prestigious award. And Joe Macora will join us in Washington, D.C. with Rakia and Roy. And we will be accepting that award on behalf of the Bronxville School Elementary. I'm happy to report nothing about COVID because we are doing very well. I appreciate, the parents, you guys have been incredible, since March of 2020. And really helping us be in person before many of our neighbors were in that fall of 2020. And we count on you to keep your kids home when they're not feeling well. So thank you for doing that. Very, very few rules now. And we've really been able to keep our community and our children healthy. So thank you for the partnership in that. And this is homecoming week. Lots of great spirit going on in the building. It is culminating with homecoming on Saturday with our very special celebration of our centennial. So please go online, read about it, buy tickets to hear some prestigious alum in the auditorium at 11 a.m. on Saturday. And also we will be rolling out our alma mater. We now have an alma mater. Pam Simpson has worked really hard with some of her colleagues, and we thought it would be a perfect gift really to the school and the community to celebrate our centennial. So thank you. If you have any questions, I'm happy to take them now, and you can certainly reach me via email at any time.
Any questions for Dr. Kelly? Well, thank you, Dr. Kelly.
Thank you.
Out to you if we need anything. Thank you. Have a good night. And so we are also super lucky tonight to have Brad Ashley with us. Brad is here to talk to us about something very important. A lot of us have sixth graders that just got a phone. And so internet safety is something that is near and dear to my heart. And I feel like it's perfect time to hear about the topic. So Brad, it's all up to you now.
All right, perfect. So hopefully everybody can see my screen. Yes, sixth grade is a very important year to set some boundaries and set some things that are going to hopefully stay with the entire middle school year. So setting up policies now is a great thing. So thank you for having me to the middle school meeting. We constantly are talking about digital cybersecurity and digital citizenship. So we really want to focus at the beginning of the year on both. All right, so digital citizenship for everyone. This is an important as the sixth grade now and seventh and eighth have had their one-to-one Chromebooks, new carriers this year, those blue books, and I hope everybody's enjoying those. We saw last year as students were trying to balance all of their school books and then having the Chromebook on top, so many times they slipped off. So we looked for a better solution and kind of found something that looked nice and was helpful. So we all students now have a one-to-one Chromebook, and this is really helpful for teachers to be able to communicate and kind of do some more efficient classwork and kind of expand what the students are doing. But it also has some pitfalls, of course, as any digital tool does. And so we just want to make sure that we're kind of setting the standard high and making sure that we have some rules to follow through. So what we kind of define digital citizenship as, and this is covered in our tech course, which students have once throughout the year, but we really want to try and cover this in all classes, and we want to kind of cover this in all grades as well. So all the way down to kindergarten and all the way up to high school. And of course, digital citizenship looks different in every grade, but it has some general themes that we kind of want to focus on. So first of all is empathy. And that's becoming more and more challenging as we've been behind screens for so long for the past few years. And then, it's changed how we interact. And so really understanding that there's a person on the other side of that screen receiving whatever message is being sent. And so we really focus on that. Focus on how the internet works, which sounds more technical, but really it's easy to fake it, and fake news and misinformation runs rampant, and that can be something at the major national level, or just rumors. That rumor mill used to be face-to-face, and now it's posted on social media. Understanding user data, so making sure that we're not giving our information out, and we have some safeguards within the school district, EdLaw 2D being one of them, but also students making sure that, you know, if they get that phone and they sign up for Instagram, who's getting access to your information and what should you be posting? And then practicing digital literacy. So again, looking at fake news and trying to spot it and looking at multiple resources. Not only do we do that for our academics, but we should be doing that for anything that we really read online these days. And then digital wellness, being able to unplug and kind of pull away, and where we can store devices when they're not in use, how we can kind of organize the house so that some of these things are reducing the temptation, if you will. So again, empathy, really thinking of the person on the other side of the screen. We've been behind screens so long, so that really teaching into the person on the other side, and kind of figuring out that you wouldn't want to be a recipient of that. You know, the new word is, or the new term is keyboard warriors, making sure that you understand that there's somebody on, and when you type those hurtful words, they go to somebody else, and really leaning into that, because so often it seems like we're typing into a void, making sure students know that there's somebody behind the other screen. How the internet works. And this is an approach that I've always used in when I was a high school teacher. I taught computer science, and I always had a web class. And on one of the first days, I would take a website, I'd go into the HTML, I'd copy it, I'd paste it into a brand new document, HTML document, and boom, I had that website, and I was able to manipulate it really easily. And at that point, a lot of students saw how easy it was to create a website and create some of that false information. So really understanding how easy it is to actually make a website and how easy it is to spoof it, so that thinking about, you know what, it's actually a lot easier to make something, not just a post on social media, but a whole entire website. So I really should be thinking about multiple sources and not believing everything just quickly, researching and looking for other things that verify or disprove what I'm looking at. Again, understanding user data. The school district has EdLaw 2D, which makes sure that all companies that we use their software will sign our Parents' Bill of Rights, which is found on our website, and really says that data is being stored, it's being deleted, it's not being sold by third parties, it's being stored in the US. There's about 7 different key points that EdLaw 2D has to make sure of. But not only in that, but also understanding that user data can be farmed outside of school on those apps like TikTok or Instagram. And really what those do is create these bubbles or echo chambers where one idea is floated and you click on it and it constantly moves. And there's a lot that we get into with Instagram and TikTok, the scroll speed that you have. If you slow down on a certain ad, it finds more that is like that. So really understanding user data, really understanding algorithms and how they can control and manipulate, so that we may not be getting a clear view of what students are getting. And it happens quickly. Boys and girls, they'll swipe on any sort of app. They'll slow down during, lacrosse highlight, and suddenly they're flooded with lacrosse highlights. They slow down during a makeup tutorial, and suddenly every makeup tutorial goes in there, and both of them can be very damaging to the individual psyche. So really understanding that the algorithm is controlling, and that's not everybody is doing makeup. Not everybody's a 5-star lacrosse recruit. And so understanding that sometimes those things aren't actually true. Again, practicing digital literacy, read multiple sources and think before buying in. So like we talked about being able to easily create a website, knowing how easy that is and knowing that a manipulator can be doing that, and then double checking some of the sources. And then probably the most important one, which is always kind of silly to hear coming from the director of technology, but really taking a step away. And my advice to a lot of teachers at the end of last year was to pull away from technology over the summer and in the school year, and really think about why we're putting students in front of screens. We use something called the SAMR model, which is substitution, augmentation, modification, and redefinition. And if you're just substituting the screen for something students can be doing on paper, we tell teachers not to do that. Get them writing on pen and paper, close the Chromebooks, close the screens, put them away. And teachers have really responded well to that because, the temptations that might happen with a screen in front of them, but also connecting again and not looking at a screen, but looking at another person and being able to write down on paper. So we have a technology framework called the SAMR framework to kind of guide us in that. Some other tools that we don't necessarily force students onto, but provide as opportunities. One is wellbeing.google, and it's kind of hard to see, but it's wellbeing.google. And Google has a program in which it kind of asks people to measure what their digital footprint is and how often they're spending online, and really gets them to think about, well, I'm just checking my email, at the playground once in a while, but really you're doing it for 15 minutes out of the 20 minutes that you're at the playground. So just one way to really kind of analyze how much we're spending on technology, and is it really good for our well-being? So some helpful tips that I'll put out there, and these were shared last year in the spring and will be shared again because I feel that these are pretty important. But one thing we want to put out there is that you, the parent, are the greatest filter. Not only for the content that's coming across on your computer screen, but also being able to close the device, turn it off, remove it, and we'll see bullet points further down. But we use a filter called Lightspeed and in school, and your child's one-to-one Chromebook has it installed, and everything is through that filter. But that blocks a majority of the kind of dangerous stuff. But there's also silly stuff that doesn't need to be blocked that sometimes is more of a distraction. And so you being present, kind of always making sure that the student's screen is towards you, being present in the room kind of avoids alone time for students to kind of get a little bit mischievous. Charge devices in a central location. This is something that I've worked on with my family as well. My wife and I now charge our iPhones outside of our bedroom because it was becoming a distraction. Those sixth graders that just got a new iPhone or smartphone, make sure that they charge it in a central location so that they're not up all at night. The greatest advice that I can give to anybody is go on Amazon and buy a $7 alarm clock. That's good enough for waking kids up in the morning. They don't need their phone, and it too often is a distraction. And I felt myself, my wife and I felt ourselves doing it. Checking that late night score, basketball score, baseball score, or hockey score. I'm an Avs fan, so this was a good year. So a lot of late nights and making sure that the phone is outside of the bedroom in a central location and charging, so you have it full of battery the next morning. Establish rules for emails work for the entire household. You'd love to say, after 7 p.m., no more emails, no more anything. And of course, problems arise. But if you can start to organize and kind of get your household to buy into low tech, no tech time, it can really pay dividends, especially when we still have some sunlight out in these fall months. And then again, low tech, no tech times to kind of reconnect to each other. And then finally, a lot of these tips can be found on Common Sense Media. So I would definitely suggest that everybody visit Common Sense Media. It's a great website that has a lot of great reviews of movies and apps and games and music coming out. But then it also has a lot of great tips for how to do a low tech or a no tech. How to do board game nights, and just a lot of great information. And they have a separate section called Parenting that has, as you can see, the ages breakdown. And so it's a great tool. We use it in our elementary school computer science and digital literacy classes. And then in our middle school as well, it's featured. Some reading that I've always suggested, iRules, and in the past we've had Janelle Burley Hoffman come and talk to our students, and we're hoping to have an author come and talk to our students as well, as we're kind of getting over COVID, and rules are loosening up. But iRules is a great resource of how to do some of these things, how to have low tech, how to manage your students just getting either a device or changing bad habits from having that device. The middle book is called How to Break Up with Your Phone, and gives you some great tips on how to do that. One thing is removing apps that you don't actually use, so it's not a temptation to always find something, and having 3 or 4 apps, and then you really know what your phone is for. So a good read there. And then The last one on the far right is a book that I like to feature is Program or Be Programmed. And really, I think the title says it all, that either you're able to understand how programming works and understand how the internet works, or you're being programmed and you're being manipulated. The algorithm has kind of got you. So we oftentimes bring up some of these 10 commands for the digital age so that students are understanding what forces are out there, and that they're programming rather than being programmed. Any questions? I know I kind of went quick there. Any questions? I promise I haven't muted everybody purposefully. You can unmute yourself.
Thank you.
One thing that I did want to point out is, and there'll be some information coming on it, but students might be talking about a new tool called ClassLink. We're still working out some of the bugs in it, but it's a new single sign-on, so an SSO that allows students one place to go to always be able to access all the software that they use for school. And everything's rostered and loaded. So there's no, oh, I forgot how to log on to Big Ideas Math or anything. It's one place available on any device. Obviously, middle school has their one-to-one Chromebooks, but if battery dies, they can't find their charger, you're on vacation, you can also get to it by going to bronxvilleschool.org under the schools and student section, but there'll be more information on that as soon as we kind of get all the bugs worked out, because I didn't want to send information out when we're still making some minor tweaks.
Great.
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brad.
Yeah. And then just like Dr. Kelly said, you can always reach out to me and we can work through any issues that might arise.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Have a good night. So one of the things that really makes Bronxville a special district is our Bronxville School Foundation. And Wendy Fahey, I see you on. Can you give us a quick update with the foundation tonight?
Sure. Thank you so much, Deirdre. And thank you, Brad. That was really, really helpful. So the Bronxville School Foundation, first of all, I'd like to take a moment to thank every one of you who supported us last year. The mission of the Bronxville School Foundation is to support and enhance the quality of education for all of the students in the district by supplementing initiatives that are not covered by the school district budget. So, if you happen to follow us on social media, recently you probably saw a post about many different ways that the Bronxville School Foundation has recently supported the athletics department. And you'll see throughout the school, as you're there for back to school night, all the different ways that the foundation dollars that you have donated have impacted your children's experience and all of the children's experiences. So thank you so much for all of your support. And you'll be getting much more information from us this year about how you can continue to help us enhance that experience for everybody. I also wanted to mention that as part of the centennial celebration, and many people who are on this call right now, for myself and lots of other people, I'd like to say thank you, because everyone took an enormous amount of time putting together all of these events that are happening the third week of school. So that's an incredible feat. So thank you very much for all of your work. That was really a major collaboration between the Bronxville School Foundation, the PTA, the community, the school board, Mary Marvin, the village trustees, the historical society. I mean, everyone was involved. So thank you so much. And please, please do participate in as many of those events as you can. One thing we wanted to share that the Bronxville School Foundation was a part of is there's a historical photography display in the atrium that has photographs of students and events at the school throughout the history of the 100 years of the Bronxville School. So please take a moment to try and go see that. There is also going to be school tours going on that the foundation is going to be running. There's a speaker series, as Deirdre spoke about, that is on Saturday. So please, and Rachel Kelly spoke about that. So please do sign up for those. And then we also have a piece of artwork that's donated by Bill Dowling that I believe, Deirdre, is it a portrait of the school?
It's a watercolor of the school that he created.
It's a watercolor of the school. So, and that is going to be on display in the atrium outside of the auditorium. So there's many, many things to celebrate the centennial and the 100 years of this incredible school. And we thank you so much for your support, and we hope that you partake in as many of these events as possible. So thank you.
Thank you, Wendy. And now finally, we are all eager to hear from Joe Mercora. So Joe, it's all you now.
Thank you so much, Deirdre, and thank you, everybody. I appreciate everybody being here tonight, and just really been a great couple of weeks to start out, and really looking forward to all the great things happening and moving ahead. I just want to start off maybe by talking a little bit, just going backwards a little bit with Brad Ashley. When I was asked to given the honor of coming here to work in the middle school. When we were talking over the summer, Deirdre, and about the middle school council meetings, I always did like to start off a middle school year with having a little discussion with parents just about the internet and internet safety and just things. It's always something that I think a parent could just always have, keep an eye on it, just watch. You are the best filter. I love that slide that Brad put. And again, if there's ever any questions or things about the internet that parents are not sure about, never hesitate to reach out. We have experts here that like a Brad Ashley that can answer a lot of questions and help parents out. And I've seen him help parents out even at the elementary level with a lot of filtering methods and things of that nature. So it's always a good way to start out, just by always doing what we try to do best, that's keep our kids safe. So it's my pleasure to be here with you at this middle school council meeting. And I want to welcome you back to Bronxville Middle School family. And what we're trying to do here each and every day together with the parents and the students, I believe, is just changing the world one student at a time in a great direction. And it's a common team that we're all on. And, I know so many of you, but there are some of you I don't know. And I look forward to meeting you. But I always like to just give you a little background on me. I was born and raised in the Bronx, New York. I started my career working out in private schools for about 12 years. I've had the pleasure of teaching at the elementary, middle, and high school levels. But I will tell you the truth is that I spent most of my time teaching in middle and high school more than I did in elementary. I was a social studies teacher for whatever that is worth. I taught juniors and seniors, and I taught 7th and 8th graders. Those were the grades I pretty much worked with the most. And I've had also the great pleasure of having the opportunity to be an assistant principal or principal at elementary, middle, and high school. Before coming to Bronxville, as many of you know, I worked 14 years for Nyack Public Schools in Rockland County. If you know me, then you know I love what I do for a living. It's not the easiest job at times, but it's definitely worth it because it's helping students and helping kids, and sometimes even helping families with their kids in ways that are going to make those children better, safer, and stronger. And that's something we're always looking to do. If you know something personal about me, my family is everything to me. I've been married now going on 12 years. I don't have any children of my own because I'm too busy working with everybody else's children, I guess. But my wife is also a first grade teacher. And, we love what we do for a living. And it's a great profession. And we get to work with great kids each and every day. I continue to be honored to working with in Bronxville. It's the best. And, I'm just loving middle school. I never realized how much I missed middle school until I got back to it. And it's been wonderful. And so, what we'll try to do each and every day is to fulfill that Bronxville promise for your children. We are encouraging students and working with students to become those leaders, to be those people that will engage the world. And a lot of things that we've been talking about this week is through some things that we've mentioned even at this council meeting, which is through service and through simple, kind acts each and every day. We will challenge them to be innovators, and we want them to think critically. And this is what we try to do each and every day with your children in some way. And it's about fulfilling the promise and fulfilling that Bronxville promise. I've had the great honor of, from day one, just being in at the front door on Pondfield and greeting your children as they've come in each and every day. I often think of putting myself in their shoes, and especially our 8th graders, not knowing who their principal is. I've had no problem acclimating with the 6th grade, as I had a whole year with them in 5th grade, and we're just like old buddies now. But my efforts have really going to be focused on trying to get to know the 8th grade and those 7th graders who are in the middle of middle school, as we say. And it's important to build those relationships with those groups of students because I'll have the least amount of time with them. And what we tried to keep a theme with the students is welcome to what we hope will be the greatest year of your middle school years. Our 8th graders in particular have gone through a lot. If you think about it, in 5th grade, that was the year of the shutdown, so they did not get a moving up ceremony. So this will be their first moving up ceremony this year. So we have to work really hard with our 8th grade reps to make it a very special moving up ceremony for them, and to make hopefully the days leading up to that moving up ceremony that just a little bit more special if we can, so that they leave us and move on to high school with wonderful positive memories. We've spoken to the children. These are slides directly that we're working with the children with is how can we make this year the greatest year? And what we've just tried to speak to children about is do your best. Do not be afraid to struggle and even fail at times because you're never alone. Ask for help when you need it. Follow the rules. That's something we'll say to kids K-12. Respect everyone. And what we've tried to emphasize with the children is that includes yourself. Respect yourself and respect who you are and be proud of who you are. And always respect everyone that you're in contact with each and every day, from not just your teachers, but your fellow students, not just your staff, but those around you. And we've challenged the students to try to say, how can you make someone's day every single day? And that includes your parents at home, and that includes your families at home. And that's what we're trying to speak of, is just continuing to create and emulate a culture of kindness towards each other. We speak about random acts of kindness. They're so simple. Say examples of just saying hello to someone when you see them walking past you. And I've tried to model that myself a little bit for the kids because I didn't know any of them when I started, especially in the 7th and 8th grade. I may try to go out of my way these first weeks just to say hello to every student as they're walking through or as they're leaving. Seeing someone sitting alone and asking them to join you. And I've seen children do that as early as today. We spoke to the 8th graders yesterday in a grade level assignment. And I can't tell you what it meant to me as I walked through town today to see how the children were doing at lunch, to see how our kids were doing at lunch, and seeing students that were in small groups being invited to sit with other students in bigger groups, and seeing that community and seeing that camaraderie. And we're going to keep going with that. We try to tell them that simple things like saying thank you and please can mean a lot to people in a day. And we even mentioned you parents, that can mean a lot to you in a day. Listening to someone who is talking instead of waiting to speak. Helping someone for no reason at all other than to help. So these are just some of the common themes that we've talked about, we've spoken about with the kids. We try to tell the kids, push yourself every day to be the best person you can be, and always know that we care about and we believe in you. And what we started, and I should have probably said this in the beginning, is I'm having grade level assemblies with the children and with the kids to get to know them and for them to get to know me a little bit. So we're having dialogue very much like we're having it right now, but it's nice to be back in an auditorium with students having a real live assembly. We have some great upcoming events that we're looking forward to. Our grade level meetings will continue. I have the 7th grade this Thursday and the 6th grade another day. And obviously every conversation is a little different that you have with each grade level because the needs of each grade are a little different. And what we're also pushing towards is the maturity level of the students and the expectation is different. So an 8th grade conversation sounds a lot more like a high school conversation as opposed to a 6th grade conversation, where it's a little bit more about acclimating them to middle school and some of the things that they'll be exposed to in middle school. And 7th grade, it's a little bit more speaking about some of the academic rigor that they're going to experience as 7th graders, but how that they are ready for that rigor, and that will help them every step of the way through it. Rachel mentioned it at the beginning. I can't tell you how excited we are to have a back to school night in person. Again, focusing back on our 8th grade families. The last time you had a back to school night that was in person was in your child's 5th grade year. So we have an entire middle school parent population that has never had an in-person back to school night. So we're really looking forward to that. We're actually going to send you some information about that tomorrow. But just to give you a little bit in advance, your children are actually going to be a part of that night with you in terms of part of their advisory over the next week, and teaching them a little bit about responsibility. Is they will be preparing the schedule that you will follow that evening. And their advisory teacher, when you report to our school next Thursday at 7 o'clock, they will have that schedule that your child created and they will give it to you, and we'll be there to help you get from classroom to classroom and do all the things you need to do to meet those teachers in person. We talked about trips. Trips are back. We have a 7th grade trip going to Williamsburg in November. I know that's a nice tradition that we've had here in the past, and we are going to continue that this year. We're making arrangements for that. We're going to have a lot of details with that. I want to thank Mr. Agnello, our trip master, who takes on a lot of the trips that we do here and does it so well. And pleasure to work with Jim on that. And I think, as it was mentioned, I'm looking forward to joining the 7th graders on that trip this year and having that memory with them in particular. I just, from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say thank you so much to, and in no particular order, but our staff who have, just done a great job welcoming back the kids and welcoming me over the summer and reaching out and having meetings with me about things about middle school and things that we want to do to make this experience very special for your children. Our parents, it's so nice to see so many old friends up here in middle school, and it makes your person feel very secure in starting, because we do know each other. And to those of you that I don't know, believe me, it's going to be a priority one for me to get to know you. And of course, you're always welcome to reach out if you'd like to sit down or get on a phone call or get on a Zoom, whatever convenient for you, just to maybe build that relationship a little bit. And if there's something that you would like me to know about your child in particular, or something you'd like me to keep an eye on for your child, I'm certainly very open to all of that dialogue. And I thank those parents that have already taken that opportunity to do so. And it's really become getting every single day, I'm learning more names, and going to have those 7th and 8th grade names down sooner than we think. Our PTA is nothing short of fabulous. I mean, the things our PTA does district-wide is incredible. To our new families, we have 23 new families to our Bronxville Middle School, and those children probably just so proud of the way they've acclimated to our school community, and so proud of the kids that we have that have invited them into our community. So, to the new families that are here, please, I encourage you to get involved with our PTA. They're a great organization. Everything is about students and the schools and what they can do to support the schools. I would be remiss not to mention the Bronxville School Foundation. Such an honor to be a part of an organization that has that particular foundation. The work they did, I know it was such an honor working last year with the organization. And ironically, Mrs. Fahey was one of my liaisons as a new principal in the elementary school. So and we got some nice grants for the elementary school last year. So, just to be able to be a part of that again, I encourage all parents to do what they can to support the foundation. I've seen their magic at work, and they've just incredible things for our school community. Brad Ashley took time out of his evening with some small kids of his own to be here with us and share his knowledge and expertise on internet safety. And I think that's an ongoing conversation that we can continue to have with one another. I was thrilled to hear from Deirdre and our parents at Exec Council that there was a survey that was put out to families about particular topics that they might want to have discussed at council meetings. If you haven't had the opportunity to fill out that survey, please do so. I always like to plan something focused that we can speak about in the school that might be of interest. And we'll try to always get that on one of the agendas, and maybe even try to get some of our wonderful staff here who, can speak about that as well, as Brad did this evening. And then, finally, just something I like to always talk about as we begin a year together. So this is an African proverb, and it's very famous. It's in corporate America. It's talked about in schools. It's used for motivation. But, it speaks about how moving children, in our case, from one particular place to even a better place as we go forward in this educational journey together. And I really do emphasize the word together, because the proverb reads that if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, then let's go together, because together we can go further than we could ever go by ourselves. So I just say to us, let's continue to go far together for the students of Bronxville Middle School, because they are worth our cooperation. They're worth our teamwork. And believe me, each and every day that I've been here, and it's only been a couple of weeks, the rewards of working with them really just are an incredible thing to see. So looking forward to a great year ahead. And I'm really looking forward to all the things that we're going to do together as a PTA and as a school community. And again, as you'll find out, to those of you that don't know me, an email. My door is always open and always here for you to serve you and your children. So thank you very much for this evening, and I'll take any questions anybody may have. And if anybody has a private question that they'd like to mention to me, just email me and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I promise. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you for your time tonight. Thank you so much, Joe. We learned so much. It was really, really great to hear from you. And I just wanted to give a final reminder that we have food trucks on Thursday night. If you're around, bring your family down to Meadow parking lot. I think it'll be a nice evening. And again, thank you for your time, and we'll see you soon. Reach out with any questions or any concerns. Thanks so much, guys.
Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Deirdre, have a great evening and thank you, everyone. Take care.
Oh, everything was great. Thanks so much.
Thank you.